Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are on this fast forward planet, spinning around the sun, sadly still wrapped in a pandemic that nature is reminding us we're not alone and that we're more vulnerable than we think we are, despite our technology and all the advances we have wrought through quote unquote civilization. We are trying to break through every Sunday morning here in the Hudson Valley where I live, connected through the Earth Institute at Columbia University. We try to kick back from the craziness of the week and use music and stories and just community to recharge the batteries, just build a bit more of a network, and use the arts again as a keystone part of what we call sustainability. I've got several guests coming in from around the planet. Several are here right now. We have Tom Cridland, who I got to know through his slow fashion, selling 30-year sweatshirts and then t-shirts, and who's also a musician. I guess that predated. We'll learn more about that from you, Tom, in a minute. You know, which part of you came first. And I've got Reggie Harris in the hills in the Hudson Valley, way up north of where I live. And it's great always, Reggie, to have you here. You've been a mainstay of this show. And
I'm in Philadelphia today.
Oh, you're in Philadelphia. So that must be, and you're from Philly originally, right?
Hometown.
And we also have Ernie Sites, the Yodeling Cowboy. Ernie, it's great to have you here too. Yeah, you're looking good there. And so you're in Brewster, I believe, Brewster, New York. Although you're out west quite a bit too. One of the great sustainers of the Western tradition of singing and performing. It's great to have you all here. So good morning, first of all, and maybe Tom. So how are you doing? Where in the UK are you?
I'm in Northamptonshire, which is where I grew up from about the age of 8 when we moved from London, and I'm with my parents and my girlfriend and my brother, and we're in lockdown. This is lockdown 2, and we're coming out of it on December the 2nd. So we're very excited about that. It'll be good to see friends again and be able to go to restaurants and pubs. But it's, I can't complain. Really, this whole year, all the awfulness that's been inflicted on so many people, I haven't really felt it too much. So yeah. I feel like you see a lot of people complaining all the time, and sometimes with very good reasons. So when really I haven't actually been personally impacted that much, I don't feel the need to complain about my situation. I think that's the right way to go about it.
So and I'd also, again, I came into your life midstream, I guess, when through the fashion design you were doing. So just give a snapshot from that age of 8, what made you who you are today?
Oh well, so you heard about my work with my clothing brand. Also called Tom Cridland. So it's slightly confusing because here I am going around releasing records and playing gigs, having also had a sustainable fashion brand under the same name, but both still exist. Actually, what came first was fashion. I started this business where I guaranteed my shirt 30 years to try and encourage people to hang on to their garments for longer. And so, that's called the 30-year sweatshirt. Despite my business going very well, and I've continued, I reached about 3 years ago somewhat of a personal crisis where, I felt like I was drinking too much and I wanted to make a fresh start. And one of the ways that I was able to make a fresh start and give up alcohol, I haven't had a drink for 3 years, was really getting stuck into music. I'm a lifelong lover of rock and roll music, pop, country, blues, hip hop, everything, soul, R&B. I love music so much. I just decided to make a go of it. So I started releasing my own songs and went on a tour where I played all 48 contiguous states of the US in less than 3 months, self-funded. And that led to the Stylistics inviting me to support them on tour. I would currently be on tour with the Stylistics right now if it weren't for coronavirus. So that's very exciting. And this year with the pandemic, I decided to make the best of it and start a podcast called Greatest Music of All Time, where I discuss music and current affairs, politics, business, all sorts of things. And I've had some of the greatest musicians of all time on this podcast, everybody from Earth, Wind and Fire to Smokey Robinson to the Temptations, Annie Lennox. So it's been a wonderful project. So I'm, in answer to your question, I am doing all of these things, and fashion came first. But yeah, I plan to continue all three of them and somehow find a way of making it not confusing.
Yeah, I know that's one of the issues I've faced. For me, music is, I was, playing music way before I was a journalist, and I started writing songs and stuff, and I never pursued it anywhere near the extent you have, but balancing life between those different forks that you have in your own passions can be really interesting. Reggie Harris in Philadelphia, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I spent the entire week in the studio here. There's a Morningstar studio here is where I've made the last two CDs, and so I'm just kind of addicted to their wonderful atmosphere. And I traveled down here from the Helderbergs, and of course this is my hometown, so it always feels good to come back in Philly, which is a lot more congested these days than it used to be.
Congested and contested right now.
Oh yeah, I know. It's been interesting.
Oh my God, it's just so mind blowing.
It is. Yeah, but Philly came through in a big way.
It sure did.
I was very proud of my hometown.
And the state. It's been amazing to be the focus of so much crap from the outside.
So I'm about 3/4 of the way through. Got all my vocals done on 13 tracks, with exception to a couple of add-ins that I'll do in December. And taking the temperature of Pennsylvania now that it's post-election.
Wow. And this includes some of the songs that you've sung on this show, I believe. Yeah,
there are a number of songs that I sang here first.
That's great.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll kick things off with something you could offer. What's on your musical mind this morning?
Oh, well, actually,
Ernie is back.
I'll do this one in honor of Pennsylvania and Philadelphia and the rest of the nation, with the idea that I've been saying for months that November 3rd was only one part of the target, that regardless of what happened, and weren't we surprised by what happened in so many ways, still a lot of work to do. And so I woke up one morning thinking about the work that we'll have to do going forward, and so I came up with this song. It's called Let's Meet Up Early. It won't be easy. You might want to open your eyes. We got a hard fight coming. Let's meet up early in the morning. We got a hard fight coming. It ain't a secret. Don't try to act surprised. We got a hard fight coming. Let's meet up early in the morning. There will be pain. There might be rain. I heard some thunder, so there ain't no doubt. There will be words spoken in tones that might hurt your feelings. We got a hard fight coming. It won't be easy. You might want to open your eyes. We got a hard fight coming. Meet up early in the morning. We got a hard fight coming. It ain't no mystery. Wanna wear a disguise. We got a hard fight coming. Meet up early in the morning. If I were you, I would wear blue. Let's keep the colors to a minimum. Try not to shout. When things get rough, we might slide right by 'em. Yeah, we got a hard fight coming. Meet up early in the morning. Nothing is what it seems. We can still fight harder when we keep our eyes set on that dream. We got a hard fight coming. This won't be easy. You might wanna open your eyes. We got a hard fight coming. Meet up early in the morning. We got a hard fight coming. It ain't no secret. Don't try to act surprised. We got a hard fight coming. Meet up early in the morning. Meet up early in the morning. Meet up early in the morning. Let's meet up early in the morning.
Beautiful. Indeed. You know, wherever we are in history right now, it's not like an easy beginning, middle, end kind of problem. You know, it's not a fix this thing problem. It's an emergent new reality, both biologically and politically. The internet, social media, the way things are working against clear conversation is a new event. It's a new aspect of the earth, you know, the internet and all that stuff. So it can work to make things better or really awfully. And that's a hard fight. And it's not like, again, it's not a quick battle. It's not a quick battle.
No, a friend turned me on to an article by a nurse this week that she was talking about her frustration that being in a hospital treating COVID patients. I think this was out in the great Midwest or wherever.
Yep.
And she said she had people who were dying of COVID who still didn't believe it existed. And they were on their deathbed saying, this must be a really bad flu. And she said, no, this is COVID. And they said, COVID's a hoax.
I know.
And then they would die.
Yeah, that was in South Dakota.
Thank you. Yeah.
She was tweeting about it. I guess someone interviewed her. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. But, you know, the reality is shaped by, you know, what you take in and who you trust, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know you know.
So Tom, is there a way to provide a little bit of your musical side here? You want to throw something into the hat?
I'm afraid I do not have any acoustic instrument
technology.
I'm gonna have to bow out of that. It will only be anecdotes coming from me today. I'm really sorry. I should have prepared something. However, you can, for those people watching and listening, if you go to Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, any streaming service, and type in my name, Tom Cridland, then you can listen to some of my tunes. And if I ever do this again, I'll make sure that I've got a guitar or something. Although I don't play guitar, and certainly, my coordination wouldn't be as good as Reggie. But I am learning the piano, so maybe at a suitable junction, I'll be able to whip out some Elton John or something.
I do see.
I apologize for not bringing my songs.
Oh, no, of course not. We can chat, and I can play something from your YouTube channel in a bit, so that's not a problem. I'm there. If there's a particular tune you think would be fun, let me know. I'm looking at the website now at the list, and and Ernie's just left the scene.
I think he's still there.
I see. Ernie, are you there? We'll get back to Ernie in a second. I'd love to get some of his yodeling on here. Maybe I'll throw a tune in the mix very briefly. Let's see here. It's great to have you all on.
It's great to be
Thanks
here.
for having us.
I hadn't thought much about what to play. I'll do this one I've done on here already a couple of times. Hey, Ernie, there you are. Can you hear me?
He's muted.
Oh, I've got him muted just because the background noise. Okay. Ernie, what's on your musical mind this morning, man? You want to throw a tune into the hat? Oh, wait a minute. Why is that not unmuting? Hold on.
Mute.
Ernie, I think you have to unmute yourself. I can't do it from my end. You're muted. Your phone is muted, Ernie. Ernie, your phone is muted. Unmute yourself. Let's see here. There should be a mute button. Oh, there we go. You're there.
Did that make the difference?
Yeah, you're all good. Yep. So go back to your. You're good.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Can you hear me, Eddie? Nod your head yes.
Yes.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Nod your head yes. Head yes. Like
There is a really weird little echo, but I hear you. Could you try to sing a song?
can't tell.
Ernie,
Can't
can you
tell
try
if I'm in with you.
Sing a song. Sing a song. You. That's weird, man. We'll figure this out.
I tell you what. I'm gonna. This is gonna work, boy. I don't think that you can hear me.
We hear you.
I can't hear y'all anyway. I know that. So there's a thumb up. That's a good sign.
But play. You play. You
And
play.
why don't you
Play a
I can't
tune, man.
understand.
Play a song. You.
Song? Okay, I'll try it.
Try it.
Okay, here we go. Okay.
Oh, now you're frozen.
You got this kind of a froze. That's it. I'll tell you what, Andy. I hate to give up on a good. Maybe I ought to excuse myself. Seems like I'm having issues someplace.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Let you guys have a great time. I've enjoyed the conversation.
All right, man.
But I'd love to sit in with you. And excited about this, but something screwy. So
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it
adios.
out.
Happy trails.
Sorry, Ernie.
All right, man. Wow, that was cosmic. We'll get him on here eventually. He was on a few months ago. It was pretty. The link was pretty limited. I see Karen Brooks and Donna Nestler are watching, but I would like them to come on the show too if they can. All right, let me throw in a tune here. It's something that I have played. If you could mute Reggie on your end, that'd be great. A fluky doesn't even begin to describe the way life feels these days. Crisis a minute has become the norm. Worries just won't go away. Bills are piled high, windows are barred. Tread on my tires worn thin. Got such an assortment of problems, I don't know where to begin. So I take my old dog for a 7-mile walk. Stare at the clouds in the sky. Sit on a rock on the top of a hill and just simply wonder why. Why am I here? Where am I headed? Is there an end to these woes? Then the sun peeks out and a rainbow appears and my dog licks me on my nose. That's when I realize things aren't half as bad as they seem to be. I got 2 good legs, it's a beautiful day, and at least my dog loves me. I've decided to take it all a day at a time. Made myself a little oath. I'm gonna start each day with a prayer and end each day with a toast. I'm gonna start each day with a prayer and end each day with a toast. Leave it at that. There's another verse, but maybe I'll play that later. So like we all need to kind of get through each day, including these imperfect technological moments, with a prayer in the morning and a toast in the afternoon. It's like a miracle that anything gets done.
Well, I woke up this morning and where I'm staying, there are 2 dogs here, and they greet me every morning with a toy as I come down the stairs, and then make the effort to lick my nose. So
You fend them off?
I do. I'm not in that family.
We are a dog family. And I'm just looking here, Tom, on your YouTube channel. I see some fun stuff here. Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. All kinds of tunes you have played. Let me just see if did I mute you? Oh, there we go.
No, I muted during your performance. Sorry about that. Yeah, there are a few covers there, and then there are the originals. So Tom Cridland Live is all covers, and then Tom Cridland Music is all
okay.
original.
We'll get to one in a minute. Reggie, what else would you offer us musically? We've talked about so many things here. You've had some really powerful experiences in recent years, crossing racial boundaries and dealing with all the divisions in our society and coming out the other end with a little bit more connectivity. And I see Claudia Gibson coming in too, which is exciting in a couple of minutes. Did I mute you, Reggie, or did you mute you?
I muted me.
There we go.
Yeah, it's been a real, I would say, a mixed bag, but it's been a full soup. And I just think of the continuity of, as you said before, the continuity of struggle. I've been doing a lot of performances recently, and one song that has always, since the time I was about 3 or 4 years old, hearing it in church where my mother used to drag me to when I was growing up. I thanked her in 2003 for dragging me there, because it has provided so much grounding over the years to hear those spirituals and to sing them, because they are so universal in connecting us to what the struggle's about. Each generation coming along and doing their part. So I think I'll do a song that I've probably sung literally 10,000 times, because I do a lot of school shows, and this particular song is part of most of those. Wade in the Water. It's the poet Maya Angelou said that we've all been bought and sold, and that really is the struggle. Sometimes we get caught up in whose struggle has been the most horrific, or it's one of the tools that the powers that be use to keep us divided, because we realize that along the way some member or members of our family went under some kind of oppression or continues under oppression. So I like to just sing this for whoever I'm singing for. Well, who are those children all dressed in red? God's gonna trouble the water. Must be the ones that Moses led. God's gonna trouble the water. Well, who are those children all dressed in white? God's gonna trouble the water. They must be the ones getting ready to fly. God's gonna trouble the water. Oh, wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Well, wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Who are those children all are dressed in blue? God's gonna trouble the water. They must be the ones that made it through. God's gonna trouble the water. Who are those children all are dressed in black? God's gonna trouble the water. They never, 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 no, never, no, 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 never, no, never, no, never, no, never, no, never, 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 no, never, no, never, no, never, no, never, no. They're just not going back. Why would they? God's gonna trouble the water. Up to you and it's up to me. God's gonna trouble the water. Well, you don't think you can be redeemed. Just follow me down to the Jordan stream. God's gonna trouble the wait in the water. Wait, my children, wait in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Children say, wait in the water. Wait in the water, children, wait in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Say, God's gonna trouble the say, God's gonna trouble the water. God's gonna trouble the God's gonna trouble the. You know that God's gonna trouble the water.
That is great. You know, my third grade music teacher
Really?
taught us that, but not in context. I don't think we ever learned about the civil rights movement or anything. You know, it was just sort of a cool song.
That was one of the amazing things. You know, in second grade, I learned "This Land Is Your Land," and I think my teacher just said it's written by a man who travels around. And
there you go. So Karen Brooks has joined us from rural Massachusetts, which is great. And Tom Cridland, I do have something of yours lined up here.
good.
Let's see here. Kind lover. Oh, here, this must be the one. Let's see. This will be very different, and I think that's great. That's what we're all about. Oh no, this is not the. I had it here. Hold on. Let's try this again. Karen, how are you doing?
I'm good. I was trying to show you the barnyard. I was going to try to be outside today, but I might go back out.
I
But
saw
I'm
it. I
good.
saw it flash on the screen earlier.
Well,
and I
and then
see.
it just went, and then it went
I also
away.
see David Bernz and Jacob in the
Yeah.
studio, which is great,
And
and Claudia
I feel
Gibson.
like you had so many wonderful people on today that I wasn't going to do a song.
Yeah.
So I will go back out to the barnyard if that's okay, and try to maybe a little bit later, at least.
Well, you can, or if you have a quick song right now, you could slip it in before we move forward.
I could do that. I've sort of finished the song I've been writing, and I don't even know if I can play it, but I'll give it a try. Let's see how it goes. I don't. It's gonna. Well, it's really odd. I got my jacket on, my barn coat on. All around the world, we feel the sadness. All around the world, we see the madness, and we try to look up and we don't look down. We're trying to hold on to higher ground. We are in the bed and we don't make a sound. We are listening round the world. All around the world, we see the madness. All around the world, we feel the sadness. Many people are dying and he never looks back. Has no remorse to keep him on track, and they never let him laugh. The facts are watching around the world. All around the world, we see the sadness. madness. But we'll keep on singing, though we're apart. But we keep on trying, keep love in our hearts. We are hoping for wisdom and we lean on a part. We are praying around the world. We are hoping around the world. We are singing around the world, and they are watching around the world. I messed up a lot.
Oh, I do that all the
messed up
time.
A lot, but anyway, oh, thanks. I'm gonna. Oh, there's my friends David and Jacob.
Yeah. And
Yay!
Tom,
Oh.
I'm going to play one of your tunes in a couple of minutes, but let's introduce a couple more people here. It's great. David, Bernz, and Jacob, can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear us?
We can.
All right. Good morning.
How are you? There's a bit of a background. Oh, there, Reggie. I think actually I just muted you on my end. There's some signally thing from your microphone, but because you're not in your home. Yeah. Reggie, if you could mute from your end, then it'll be easier. I don't have to keep unmuting and muting you. Yeah, awesome. And Tom, I've just muted you for a second, just so there's not too much feedback.
Reggie, you are immutable.
Yeah, that's true. Inimitable, immutable, and unstoppable, a force of nature, and art. So David and Jacob Bernz, how are you guys doing?
Well, Pete Seeger had a great answer. Every time I asked him, "How are you?" he would say, "Still here."
Yeah, that's the step one.
Just once he gave me a different answer. Just once he looked at me and said, "I'm 100%," and I was very surprised. And then he stopped and he said, "80% from here down, 20% from here up."
And Claudia Gibson is with us too from Wimberley, Texas. Hey, Claudia. So we have Tom Cridland in the UK, Karen in rural Mass, Reggie in Philly, David and Jacob Bernz in Beacon, New York, about 6 miles from me in the Hudson Valley. And hopefully people are getting some joy and spirit out of this morning. Again, we're going to circle back to Tom Cridland. I'd like to play one of his tunes in a minute and maybe show you around his website, which is cool as well. And Tom, by the way, I want to get a sense of how you've reached out to some of these amazing performers that you have interviewed as well on your podcast. I mean, it's kind of like it is the greatest music ever. So how's that happened before we go on?
Oh, I mean, I just emailed them through their representatives and their management. And I think due to the fact it was called Greatest Music of All Time, maybe they liked that. A nice kind of ego massage. I don't know.
Oh, I'll have to remember that. The next time I want to interview somebody.
It's a good trick to get people onto your thing, just call it the greatest, whatever field you want to go into, call it the greatest. I mean, it's maybe a bit cynical, but it was well deserved for these guys. And then when it's someone more up and coming, who's clearly not like the greatest of all time yet, I always just, I get them on the grounds that they're there to talk about the greatest music of all time from their perspective, whatever's kind of sentimental for them.
And not to diminish any of them, but is there one interview you've had that just stands out as like totally fantastic?
Well, I loved meeting Smokey Robinson.
Wow.
It wasn't that long an interview. The interview's 25 minutes, but I think it was just such a huge honor because Motown's so amazing. And it was just before seeing a gig as well. So the whole kind of day, doing things online is so important this year, of course, but doing an interview like that in person was just to see him right there talking about kind of growing up in the same neighborhood as Aretha Franklin. It's just sort of, it was shivers down the spine type of moment. So that really stood out, but a lot of them stood out.
That's fantastic.
It's been a great podcast.
I encourage folks to go to your YouTube channel or just Google for Tom Cridland and Smokey Robinson to catch up with that. That's pretty awesome. A lot of us have intersected with that man whose name was heard was spoken a minute ago, Pete Seeger, who for many of us was just this beacon, literally, of musical optimism and energy, and it was great to be around him for the last 20 or so years of his life. And David Bernz and Jacob, now I think you've done an album or an EP now, essentially building on or inspired by John Prine. Is this correct?
Yeah, we're releasing one this week.
So were you thinking of playing something from that collection, or what do you have on your musical minds this morning?
Yeah, my dad was going to share a song that I back him up on from that EP.
Great.
Yeah. It's kind of an unknown John Prine song, not a popular one.
And I'm not much of a techie, but Jacob says I should say that this is going to be out in a week or so on something called Bandcamp.
Oh, I know Bandcamp. My album is on Bandcamp. That's
Cool.
great.
So this is I guess, tongue-in-cheek, you could call this kind of a John Prine holiday song. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2. It was Christmas in prison. The food was real good. We had turkey and pistols carved out of wood. And I dream of her always, even when I don't dream. Her name's on my tongue and her blood's in my stream. Wait a while, eternity. Oh, Mother Nature's got nothing on me. Come to me, run to me, come to me now. We're rolling, my sweetheart, we're flowing by God. She reminds me of a chess game with someone I admire, or a picnic in the rain after a prairie fire. Her heart is as big as this whole goddamn jail, and sweeter than saccharin at a drugstore sale. Wait a while, eternity. Oh, Mother Nature's got nothing on me. Come to me, run to me, come to me now. We're rolling, my sweetheart, we're flowing by God. Now the spotlight in the big yard swings round with the gun and shows all the snowflakes like dust in the sun. It's Christmas in prison, there'll be music tonight. I'll probably get homesick. I love you, good night. Wait a while, eternity. Old Mother Nature's got nothing on me. Come to me, run to me, come to me now.
So I was just saying in the chat, I learned that tune. It was one of the first John Prine songs I learned in college,
Oh, wow.
around 1976, from my roommate Aaron Wolf, who who was into
Yeah.
quirky songs, and he loved John Prine. I learned about John Prine from Aaron Wolf, my roommate, who went on to become one of NASA's top interplanetary mission
Wow.
engineers. So he designed all those loopy orbits of satellites going past Jupiter and
I
stuff.
never heard.
And I'd like to get Aaron on this show someday. He was a great early friend of mine, and really good, funny singer and song
Yeah, I
player.
never heard that song until my dad played it for me. I got him this book, which I think is next to my dad, from a record store before we could not go into record stores now.
Right.
And it's like a unheard, a compilation of songs through his life.
Yep.
And it's so sad that COVID took him.
Yeah, not necessarily the hits. Just
Yeah.
some of the more interesting.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. Well, I'm a big fan of opening lines of songs.
Yeah.
And having a really good hook, a verbal hook, I think, is important to me. And that one certainly gets to you right
Oh,
away.
yeah.
Turkey and pistols carved out of wood.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So Donna Nestler has also joined us from the Catskills.
Hey, Donna.
The boat is tucked away for the winter, I assume. How you doing, Donna? You're muted, although I'm not sure. Donna, for some reason, your audio is not coming through. You're not muted here. I think
Turn
there
on
you
a
are.
microphone.
Yeah.
I'm
you are.
learning. I'm slow, but I'm cute. Well,
You are.
my mother thought I was.
And
So,
I wanted to just say it was great having Tom Cridland on from the UK. He had to pop off, and maybe toward the end I'll play his rendition of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band with his band. It's pretty fun. So it's great to have you all here.
I'm going to blow kisses and say bye.
Reggie,
bye, Reggie. Safe drive.
safe
Bye,
drive,
Reggie.
safe
Always
travels.
great to
Great
see
to
you.
have you here.
Hi, Reggie.
Always.
Back to the hills.
And me too. I'm going to head out to the barnyard, but maybe I'll see you from out there.
All right, and I see Andrei Codrescu is coming in now from Connecticut or Brooklyn or
Brooklyn.
Queens. Brooklyn, yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone's coming and going and going and coming. This is great. It was a wacky scene there. A little
And
while ago.
always too soon. Oh,
Yeah, right. It was wacky with Ernie earlier. Someone has to someday do for Ernie what someone did for Patrick Jones. Karen Brooks helped straighten out Patrick's audio and stuff. And I'd love to get Ernie back on because he's such a good cowboy singer. So Claudia, in Wimberley, how is life?
Life is pretty good. Life is good. It's I have a little break from my school job for a week or so, maybe two, because the
Right.
rates in Texas are getting high. They might close us down for another week. They're getting very high out in El Paso, but they're climbing up. We're stage 4 in Austin.
Yeah, I saw that El
Yeah.
Paso news. It looks really bad there.
Oh, it's as bad as New York was
Unbelievable.
in March. In April, it's bad. Yeah, and but our there's still not the governor. It's whatever.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Talk politics
No,
this
let's-
morning. But the weather is warm and beautiful. I was walking my dog and enjoying the music before and enjoying Reggie playing. And it kind of went out because I have poor reception. But yeah, it's a beautiful, lovely time. And when you work, a day job, just to get that little kind of like, oh, I have time off now is like, it's nice.
Yeah. So what's on your musical heart and soul this morning?
Well, I wrote a new song. That's why, like, when I was logging on, I was like, oh, I got to print these lyrics out. Because I wrote this a couple weeks ago for my songwriting group. And I kind of like the way it turned out. So I'm going to turn my... It's funny how on these things, your own mic always sounds really low and everyone else sounds loud. Well, I'm hearing music coming from somewhere. It's definitely not.
Oh, sorry.
me.
Well,
Andrei, is your mic?
no, that
right?
was me. Although you shouldn't have been able to hear that. I was trying to set up one of Tom Cridland's videos for later.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, here we go.
Okay. Well, this one is called "Shine On." Cast your old cape away at the end of the day, and lay down beside me and close weary eyes. When our work here is done, we will fly to the sun and shine on forever in light. And sometimes the world feels so heavy, the burden of years as we toil and we strive, when luck is not even or steady. Keep your hand on the tiller and eyes on the prize. Cast your old cares away at the end of the day, and lay down beside me and close weary eyes. When our work here is done, we will fly to the sun and shine on forever in light. Remember my lifetime companion, for better or worse, we have carved out a life that love can bridge rivers and canyons. Take my hand and together we'll cross this divide. Cast your old cares away at the end of the day, and lay down beside me and close weary eyes. When our work here is done, we will fly to the sun and shine on forever in light, and shine on forever in light.
That was very sweet.
Thank you.
Nice to hear a new tune.
Yeah, it's nice to get one that you're like, oh, okay, this is a good song, because when you write like 10 crappy ones, and then it's like, oh, one, yeah, okay, I could record that one. But the more you write, the greater the ratio. So if you write only 10 a year, you're only going to have one. If you write 10 a month, then you'll have 12. At the end of the year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Which is why I've got to carve some more time for songwriting.
Yeah, just be willing to just say, this is going to be a really bad song, and just, get it out of the way. I mean, I'm sure, Andrei, you know that, right? You write crap poems? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I try to. Thank you, Claudia, for your songs. They're wonderful.
Oh, thank you for your poems. We've been exchanging stuff, so it's cool.
All right.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, maybe have you ever adopted lyrics like with a poet? In other words, has there ever been a poet song interface for you, Claudia?
I've written with other people, but writing with Andrei would be a little intimidating, I would think.
Well, I had the Klezmer All-Stars, New Orleans Klezmer All-Stars put some of poems to their,
that's awesome.
Oh, that sounds pretty. I want to hear that.
Oh, yeah, I'll send it to you. It's a CD inside the book I wrote right after Katrina in New Orleans.
Wow. What an interesting mix.
Yeah, Jonathan called me and says, do you have any songs? Because there are musicians left in New Orleans at the time who hadn't gone anywhere, and they wanted to make music in a studio, and he got them together.
Wow.
I wrote some poems in 2 nights, 2 days and 2 nights.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
David and Jacob, do you have another one queued up? And then Donna, great to have you here too with your ukulele. Is that? Oh no, that's your banjo. It's not your ukulele. I want to hear that in a minute. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we can.
Can you hear us? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I have another one if you want. there's a song that I've been wanting to play a few weeks ago on the show, and I just didn't get around to playing it because I wasn't sure if it was ready yet. But this song I wrote about kind of all the protests that have been going on. Whether it was the Black Lives Matter or all those people standing up for what's right in the last few weeks leading up to the election.
Right.
And I wrote this song called P.S. My Country, about what the country's kind of become and also what we hope it to become.
Okay.
Anyway, it's called P.S. My Country, and here it goes. You want to do it in...
Just give me a key and I'll get there.
Let's do it in E. I'll meet you in the streets with my protest signs, handful of granola, and I bought you a rose. Forget the time has winded us up. I'll meet you in the back of the bus station auxiliary. We'll meet there and see what we can see. I'll email you with the time. Oh my God, what's my generation called? Oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God, what's my generation called? Oh my God, oh my God. P.S. My Country. We got caught around 6 a.m. trying to start something peaceful at the protests in my hometown. Caught off without a ticket for arrest. Took to the streets and tried to do my best. And I bought you a rose. Oh my God, what's my generation called? Oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God, what's my generation called? Oh my God, oh my God. And there's a wind picking up. I'll meet you in the streets with my protest signs, and I'll bring you a rose. That's the one there.
That's nice. I really like that.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
that's a a
Good.
subtle song about what we are facing these days.
You're a talent, as they say. God, Jacob, how old are you now?
I just had my 29th birthday.
Holy moly. Yeah, my God, time does march on, truly. It really does. Great to see you have matured so wonderfully as a musician and songwriter.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Donna Nestler, nestled in the Catskills. What you got for us?
Well, after hearing David play his banjo, how am I going to play
Oh,
this?
come on.
Although, plug
Yeah.
Jacob and David have a music store, Jake's
That's
Main
right.
Street Music in Beacon.
Thanks for the plug.
And I went there after working for Clearwater one afternoon, and I picked this up. I've had a 5-string banjo since the early 1980s, and I never played it. And I sat down and I tried this one out, and I went, and Rick went, you earned enough money today, you can buy that. So I did. Thank you, David. Now I have to learn how to play it, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
But you wanted to hear it.
Sounds great.
Can you hear it okay? Okay, do you want a song or do you want a tune?
I say a song from you. A
Instrumental
song.
or
I think a
instrumental
song.
and me singing? Okay. Now let's see if I can strum. Come along with me on this broad old river. Come along with me on this broad old river, and you will see what we can do. For if we work together in all kinds of weather, don't you be scared on this broad old river. Don't you be scared on this broad old river, rockin' and rollin' on all those waves. But if we work together in all kinds of weather, no matter how the wind's gonna blow, we can be saved. Gotta lift your eyes on this broad old river. Gotta lift your eyes on this broad old river. Gotta understand, got a job to do. But if we work together in all kinds of weather, for we know it, this mighty river will run clean through. It's wifty wafty on this broad old river. It's wifty wafty on this broad old river. Tell what the future brings. But if we work together in all kinds of weather, when the fickle winds fail, we still got songs to sing. Come for a swim on this broad old river. Come for a swim on this broad old river. Bring your family down to the river shore. Can't you see we're winning just by going swimming? You can see what we mean, 'cause it's cleaner than it was before. And you can help clean up this broad old river, and you can help clean up this broad old river. Never can tell until you try. But if we work together in all kinds of weather, with the power of the people in the river, we can turn the tide.
Great.
Lucky! I think
I
I
love
started on a, I can go faster. I've been trying to work on that with a metronome, but
We should sign off from that.
We were trying. I know David and Jacob and I are desperate to harmonize on that, and we tried. It sounded like we actually could. It actually almost worked. So we tried.
Yeah,
Andy?
but it was a surprise. It was like, oh, I hear nice voices.
Andy,
Yeah.
are you there?
I am there.
I don't know if this worked or not, but I tried singing a hair early so that it would match once it went through the internet.
Oh my God.
I don't know if that works or not. Anyway, I just wanted to thank you because Jake and I have some appointments at the store. So I just wanted to thank you for holding another great session like this, and greetings and salutations to everybody. And also, Donna, it's so great to hear you playing that instrument. When we sell an instrument to someone, we love to see it go out in the world and make music. So thanks for sharing that with us.
This was the premiere. The premiere. Remember everybody, I got this at Jake's Main Street Music in Beacon, New York. They are online. You can find them. They have many different banjos. You can do this. Remember everybody, I got this at Jake's Main Street Music in Beacon, New York.
So goodbye to everybody.
Take care.
Say hi to May.
You are inspiring me, David. Before you go, never mind.
What? What's the matter?
I got to get this old one fixed up there.
Okay.
It dates
Bring
from
by.
1890 or so, but it's also a nice little banjo, but it needs work.
We'll work on it for you.
So let's get there. And I see Nathan Farrell, a newcomer to our show. Nathan.
Hello.
with a connection to Columbia University, I believe.
Yes.
Can you fill us in a little bit on your background?
Oh, sorry. 1 second. I have both.
I see
Sorry.
you.
Hello. Sorry. No, sorry. I had both tabs open. The one with me on it and the one watching. So I was.
That would be really weird.
But yeah. Hello. Sorry. What did you say? I heard two different versions of the same thing going 5 seconds back. So I'm just.
Remind me, what's your connection to Columbia?
Oh yeah. I'm a senior right now studying sustainable development. Yeah, I am taking a science communication course that Andy Revkin gave us a little talk in, and I thought his work was super interesting, and I wanted to come on to the show one of these days.
Fantastic. I'm glad you could be here. So do you think sustainable development is possible given the state of the world right now?
I mean, I think it's a nice ideal to work for sure. I think it's part of doing the good work.
Bingo. And that gets back when I was at National Geographic working there a couple of years ago. For a brief moment, they created their a new mission statement, which was to pursue a planet in balance. And my sense is, I love National Geographic and the society and the work we were doing. I'm still on a committee there. But my sense is a lot of traditional environmentalists have this view of balance as being like fighting to preserve the lake, and then you get the lake preserved, and then you get to sit on the porch smoking a cigar with a glass of wine. Like it's done, like then you're done, right? That balance is like some static, we're done thing. And I think all the evidence I've seen is that balance is more like hot yoga. It's like holding a position. There's a lot of tension and a lot of work. It's not like, oh, cool, we won the war. So it's good that there's a new generation of you coming along to pursue that vision.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times I think I feel similarly, but it's we'll see what's out there.
So what's your musical life like?
Musical life. So I guess all through high school and earlier, I was trained as a wind instrumentalist. So I play saxophone, like flute, clarinet, like all that. And started getting into playing a lot of jazz music. That was all through high school. And
how does it fit now? I mean, I think a lot of us on this camera here right now have fit in sort of sustainability as a theme, and also music or the arts. What does it do for you?
Well, now I've also just been, singing a lot and performing, trying to like write music and stuff. And I think as I've been kind of thinking about sustainable development in my life, I guess I'm kind of, I think it's a very inward thing where it's like kind of like, okay, like if you want something to work really well and be sustainable, you have to like give it everything it needs, but a good balance of everything. And I think, music and the arts keeps me sane. And then I also think kind of more bigger picture about how, when we're designing a world that's supposed to be more sustainable, it's supposed to, make people's lives better and not sacrifice anything along the way. I think that working music and the arts into that is kind of, it's not really a question. Like you kind of have to, it's, what you've seen in like maybe every single culture and civilization that's existed is, some integration of art and music, especially. So I think we can't forget about that as we're working toward our better world.
I'm sure that resonates with Andrei and the others here too. I'd love to hear some music from you in a minute, Nathan. Andrei, I know you had a poem you had in mind this morning as well. Maybe I muted you. Hold on. Or maybe you muted me. Did you mute you or did I mute you? Let's see. Andrei, I think you have to unmute yourself. There we go. Yep, okay. Good. All good.
Yeah, no, I've been taking photographs of abandoned shoes in Brooklyn. There's so many of them. I just never knew there's so many abandoned shoes, so I don't know what happened to these people. It's maybe they experienced rapture, but I'm restless and reading about great migrations. And so just in time, I'm really really ready to join Attila the Hun or some great migratory movement, or the Birds. But this book came, and it's called Borderlines, Poems of Migration. And I have a poem in it, and I thought I would read it. I'm not sure it makes a lot of sense now, and it makes no sense in some way. It's called Ach, Bilingualism. From what language do you begin to drive your sentence? In what direction? Which way do you translate? From your native tongue to your childhood, or from the new to think yourself into the world that is your home now? In what language do you dream? I don't dream in language, I dream in pictures. Sometimes people from long ago who spoke in my old language appear in my dreams. Are they from there or from here, or I dream them? In my dreams, I sometimes read in a language I never spoke or read, but I'm dream fluent in. No one speaks in any language in my dreams, yet there it is, written and spoken by someone I forgot already when I wake up. I have no idea what that gibberish is on the tape. You shouldn't have done all that dreaming, girl. Does here start there or here? Is it Arabic or Sanskrit? And is there still a calendar on the wall, Gregorian or Hebrew, that isn't about time, a calendar of stories? The place you are, what once you were, is there, but in one of those nonsense tales that was somewhere both home and elsewhere. And where are they now who knew you then? When you traveled between languages, what suit do you wear? What suitcase do you carry? So this was written obviously about the time when crossing a border was a big deal, but for some reason, now there is a wall that doesn't need to be built by anyone because you can go anywhere, and so there are those walls everywhere. So this restlessness, I guess that's why I'm taking pictures of shoes.
Wow. That's a pretty spooky thought of those empty shoes being people who just had rapture and puffed away. There was some really weird Asian film a long time ago, science fiction film, where people's cell phones sent out a signal, and increasingly people just turned into like dusty graphite images on the walls and stuff. They kind of just vanished. I keep looking. I'm trying to find this film. I keep searching for it. I can't find it. It was really haunting film with people just disappearing into their digital worlds. Wild stuff. Nathan, I'd love to hear some of your music if you can offer something up.
Yeah, sure. So as I said, instrumentally, I'm more of a wind player, but I do have this bad boy here with us today so that I can do some singing. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I'm gonna do a little rendition of "What a Wonderful World."
Fantastic. Can you, before you start, can you tip your camera down a little bit so we can see? Yeah, that fantastic.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I hear skies of blue, clouds of white. The bright blessed day and the dark say good night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying how do you do. They're really saying I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn so much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Oh, man. Glorious.
Thank you.
Glorious. That's been I think Donna, you guys do that one once in a while. But no. Pete Seeger used to sing that sometimes. He'd throw that into his sets. What a wonderful song. And that was a great rendition. Great voice. And the ukulele, which is a mainstay here too. Yeah, there's Donna with a banjo uke. Donna, how many uke-ish things do you have?
Let's see. I have 2 banjo ukes, a Terra Patch banjo ukulele, a regular ukulele, a resophonic uke.
Cool. So there you go.
But I have 3 5-string banjos, one of which you just saw earlier. I have the Terra Patch banjolele, this banjolele, another banjolele, and a tenor banjo. Then we'll talk guitars later. But Nathan, I played bassoon.
Oh, nice.
So
wind instruments. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've had amazing flute smackdown here. We had Katie Coleman, the astronaut, who has played in the space station with David Rothenberg playing an overtone flute. I don't know if you know about an overtone flute. It's this really bizarre thing. And they actually did a duet that worked. It was kind of cosmic a couple months ago. So flutes have a place here on the show for sure. And we have a little bit more time. Claudia, I'd love to get one more song from you and then circle back to Donna and, get in a few more thoughts and tunes here before we close the morning out.
Well, I have to say, following up on Andrei's thing, one of the most challenging and difficult jobs I ever had working at Arista Records for an absolute crazy man. I knew it was going to be a strange job when I went in for the interview, and I'm walking down West 57th Street, and I look outside, like right before I'm about to walk in, and there's a shoe, a man's like expensive loafer, dress loafer lying on the sidewalk. And I'm like, okay. And I just went in for the interview. And then the crazy man who interviewed me, my future boss, he said, yeah, they just held me down and threw my shoe out the window. And I said, oh, that was your shoe. So you never know. I always wonder when you're driving down the road and you see something random like that, someone's shoe, or, where did it come from? Yeah. So I should have known it was an omen of don't take the job. But anyway. I have a friend that we've gotten reacquainted that we used to work there together, and we said we have to make a TV show about working at a record company in the 1980s. It was quite entertaining, but anyway, I have another song that it's new-ish, and I'm going to try to read the lyrics on my tiny phone because I couldn't really print it out, otherwise I'd have to disconnect. And it's not quite even done, but when I was hearing Andrei's poem and what we're about dreams, I was thinking of this song, and so it's probably easier for me to read it without my glasses on for some reason. So I'll take them off. Yeah, everyone puts glasses on. I take mine off. It's called Dreamscape, and I hope I'm playing in the right key. Space between now and forever. Though we've spent a lifetime living here on earth together, my dreams at night, I'm still traveling alone. But then every soul's journey is a random solo shot, lived in between what we have and what we think we want. Still stumble on.
life I roam, living in a dreamscape. Tell me what is real. Watch it shift and change, never stays the same. Nothing's what it seems. Living in a dream. Thinking back to the boundaries, my first memories. Grandpa in his kitchen, accordion on his knee. I was dancing to the music, joyful with the melody. That Acadian magic, its beauty, blood, and bones, a thread from my ancestors and their lives long ago. The boundaries of time, like an arrow to my soul. Living in a dreamscape, hard to know what's real. Faces rearranged, time will mark the change. Not sure how we feel. Living in a dreamscape. Tell me what is real. Watch it shift and change. Nothing stays the same. Nothing's what it seems. Living in a dream. Raised on space-age promises, vacation trips to Mars, with jetpacks and moon boots, and sail to distant stars. We're grounded now, 'cause can't travel very far. Yeah, the earth is overcrowded in a smaller time and space. The dimming of its beauty seen in every creature's face, reflecting what is gone, what we never can replace. Living in a dreamscape. Tell me what is real. Watch it shift and change, never stays the same. Nothing's what it seems. Living in a dream. Living in a dream.
So that's a song that has not yet been arranged, so it's a little rough. But yeah, and it's still a little work in progress. But but I thought it fit the theme right now, so that's why I decided to play it.
That's really good. It does fit the theme, and this show has been a debut spot for quite a few tunes. Reggie Harris was saying a couple of the songs on this album he's just wrapping up hadn't been performed before they were on the show. So
yeah, and it's great to meet Reggie through this. He's going to be my guest on a show. We're doing a show together next month, in the middle of the month,
great.
smack in the middle of the month. On a songwriter show, we talk about songwriting and sing, and yeah, it should be fun. So
fantastic.
yeah.
Andrei, did you have any short reading you wanted to add to the mix here?
Oh, no, I haven't. I haven't prepared one, but I can answer a question with this book.
There is bibliomancy.
Borderlines. So if anyone has a question, I'd be happy to answer it.
Well, I could just ask you. Oh, let's see. Hold it up so we can see the
cover. I don't know if you can see this, but it's called Borderlines. It's a little it's every man's library.
Hold it on one more time. Hold it up one more time. So I've just enlarged your back it up a little bit. So it's easy to find, I assume, if folks.
Oh yeah.
Great.
Those little books, different themes. This one is called Poems of Migration.
Yeah, that issue, people on the move, is certainly part of the next few decades. The world is, it reminds me of a plumbing system. You turn a faucet there or not, this pressure that builds in places where political turmoil exists, where climate change is exacerbating those problems. And it's like a boiler, the pressure builds. And if there's valves, people will flow. People were flowing from North Africa to Europe because the Mediterranean was a valve, very dangerous flow. And we're surrounded by those issues going forward. So there's two ways. One is to have relief valves, meaning migration, legal immigration. And one is basically the result otherwise is deep conflict, a world of divisions and conflict and percolation. Yeah. So I'm glad to hear about that book.
Well, long before Trump was talking about the wall of China there that was going to build on the southern border, the walls already ran through every city and everybody's psyche, as a matter of fact. So we, just being bilingual, there is something there that has to translate instantly, and that's a sort of migration. But yeah. This book will answer the question. I'll read 3 lines if you ask.
Yeah.
But do you have a question? Oh, you can say anything.
Let's see. Can the United States survive the pressures that have built in the last couple of years? There's your question. For those who haven't tuned into the show before, bibliomancy, which I was introduced to by Andrei, is the process of taking a book of poetry, and when you have a tough question, opening to a random page and looking at the first lines you see, and that can help you find the answer.
So that should be sentence, but dear mother, in the sky, unbuckle the book and erase all the annotations. You could suckle or suffocate me. How will you find the little polar star in the vast sky, disowned from his constellation, blinking at you across unspeakable distances? This is a poem by Kazim Ali, born 1971. So I don't know if he answers your question or not. But,
well, I think it answers the question in that the arts can disconnect us from our daily travails sometimes in ways that prompt us to just take a breath and dig back in. So that's one way it answers it for me. Thank you, Andrei, for being on here again today.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.
Yeah. Take care. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. It's great Thanksgiving being here on Sunday.
All right. Take care. I might throw in, this song has nothing to do with politics or whatever, but I haven't played it here before, and I don't know. It's kind of autumn. It's last night I tried again to write a happy song. Somehow it all seemed to come out wrong. Every note I wrote was in a minor key. That's how it's been since you left me. I used to write about your sun blonde hair, about your blue moon eyes. Used to run out of words to compare. Your smile always caught me by surprise. By surprise. Last night I tried again to write a happy song. Somehow it all seemed to come out wrong. Every note I wrote was in a minor key. That's how it's been since you left me. Someday I'll play a happy song again with cheerful chords and rhymes. It'll sound like schoolgirls laughing in the rain, like old folks toasting old times, old times. Last night I tried again to write a happy song. Somehow it all seemed to come out wrong. Every note I wrote was in a minor key. That's how it's been since you left. Yes, let's play together in person sometime. I don't know. With this resurgence, feels like it's all going to be pushed back again. It's great to have had you all on this morning. Claudia Gibson and Wimberley, Donna and the Catskills are the guests from the UK, and Philly, good old Reggie, who's heading back to the north of the Catskills. This is Sustain What Sunday Sanity show, and I'm going to be taking a break this week. I think I'm not going to have a show tomorrow. Mondays usually is called Thriving Online, where we try to build practices and spread them on how to communicate more effectively. And then with the holidays, we're going to take a break. So thank you all, and thanks to Claudia's cat too for adding another element.
Oh, this is Theo. I adopted him this summer. He's a Maine Coon kitten. He's only 6 months, but he's getting back.
Maine Coon cats, they are major feline force. So thanks again for being here today. And
Thank you for having me. It's always great. Thank you.
Have a good day going forward.
And happy Thanksgiving. Yay.
And that too.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Give Lisa
do
my
well
best.
from a distance. Stay as safe as you can. Keep the people around you connected, but do it safely and wisely. And take care all.